How are we going, guys? Welcome to yet another vlog. We are just out here on my street. This is my neighborhood in Pakenham. Yeah, on this vlog, I know I've watched a lot of content online.
A vicious attack on innocent individuals.
After living here for 15 years, is Melbourne really that safe? I understand that there's a lot of issues that happen here and there, especially in Pakenham here itself.
An innocent Pakenham family has had to cower in their home as a gang tried to smash in. Police say the crooks had the wrong house and are...
Is it really that safe? Well, I've lived here in Melbourne for 15 years. So this street that I'm working on right now, so I've moved here about 4 years ago. And yeah, we actually quite like it here. Very quiet, as you can see. Everyone's at work. And if you're wondering, why am I outside and it's 25, 26 degrees outside? Well, I'm actually off at the moment, so I've got like a whole month off, but it wasn't really planned. Yeah, work just shut down, and there's really not a hell of a lot to do if you haven't really got plans to go and do stuff. So, as you know, we're not getting paid a lot of money to do this, so it doesn't really finance my holidays or, you know, all my vlogs that I do outside the state. So it's really hard to just go and do stuff if you haven't really planned it. But anyway, hopefully when we get back, we'll be able to plan and go to other places. Just got back from the gym, so that's why I'm a little bit, flustered and running out of breath. You know, that's the other thing. My poor little heart is giving me a bit of hard time as well. So hopefully we'll be able to make this vlog. But anyway, this is my local neighborhood, guys. If you like it, let me know. Realistically speaking, is Australia safe? Is Melbourne safe? Melbourne is very safe, you know, and I can certainly tell you Australia is very safe as well. I've been to like Brisbane, I've been to Sydney, you know, I've vlogged around random places. Have I ever had any issue with people? Probably one time on one occasion, that was only in Brisbane. But other than that, you know, generally speaking, just in public spaces, do you get into like people just altercations or just people harassing you or anything of that nature? Not really. Generally, people just leave you alone and leave them alone. And I tend to sort of like treat people with respect, just like they would like to be treated as well. So, and do people sort of like get into your business? Not really. People generally are very, very easygoing people. And I think we all know that about Australia by now. But anyway, enough of that. Over this way, yeah, so there's homes around here. They're not really that's super expensive, but you certainly can expect to pay around 800,000, and some of them are almost like 900,000. So prices has gone up. Prices has gone up, especially in the last 12 months. I'll probably say some of these houses has gone up in equity as much as $100,000 Australian. So if you haven't really got into the market, you are certainly getting further and further away from it. So for us, we really try and, you know, get it done ASAP. But it was a lot of work though. I mean, you know, if you want to get into the Australian market or housing market, it's something that you really need to take very seriously and knuckle down. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but you just gotta know what you want. So for us, as far as my wife and I goes, it was more like, okay, we'll just live on one income and just get it done of that one income. And yeah, we'll just live within our means and try not overspend as much as possible and not buy things that we don't need. And that was the other thing. So, but that didn't just happen by accident. We had to like really be on the same page in order for that to happen. And give you more views of the place. That way you're not looking at my forehead the whole time. Yeah, so houses are definitely in demand around here, but very quiet. Hardly any issues whatsoever. I mean, for the 4 years that I've lived here, there's not any time that I know of an incident that happened in my street, because this is actually my street. This is the street that I live on. And going that way, you will see it's actually very, very close to the main train station, which is just up ahead, and I can hear the train going past. So all these houses here, there's like the train line that actually runs behind them, and that's the Pakenham line. And very reliable to get into the city, very easy. And this is one of the reasons why we also moved here, so that the kids can just walk from home to the station. You can see the train line over here. We'll just have a quick look-see and then we'll get back on that way. Quite nice to show you guys my neighborhood. So that's the train line here. There. So that's the train line there. And we'll hopefully walk past the station and see what's on the other side of Officer. And yeah, do something different today, to be honest. I thought most of the time we'd go in the city, do some videos about the city and around the city. But I think also, for those of you that probably have never been to Melbourne or even Australia itself, you get to have a feel for what the city itself looks like, especially in the local neighborhood. And one of the things, when I wanted to move to Australia from New Zealand, I was looking for videos that actually can show me what the street look like. For example, what are the houses like? What's the feel? It was really hard to find videos that actually show you this much in depth what some of those neighborhoods look like. But when you go like off any of these streets, if we were to go off this street here, the feel is the same. They're all like Metrocon homes. So it's one of the builders that build these homes around here. So usually they're like 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom houses. And as you can see, people aren't like living in houses that's got like a burglar proofs or anything of that nature. So it's really easy going. Okay, how are you? All right there? Hey, look at that. Someone's friendly. Hey? Yeah, so that's just the locals there doing their thing. And once again, I try to not really, it's nice to talk to people, but with camera, it's really one of those situations, especially when you're vlogging. I think it's only fair to allow people to either approach you or are interested in what you are doing. Otherwise, it's just too inconvenient to try and interview or talk to somebody and that. So I leave people alone when I'm running around with my camera. But if they talk to me or start talking to me, then I will try and reciprocate that. But it's kind of annoying if they kind of engage you and you try to engage them. Where you from?
I'm from Africa, man. I'm from Africa itself.
Yeah, I know you're from Africa, but where about? And they try to fob you up as if you're non-existent. It's like, well, I didn't talk to you in the first place. You're the one that started the conversation. But anyway, that's another beautiful street down there. A lot of people park on the side of the road. But yeah, it's really a beautiful day. It's officially summer is over. 26, 27 degrees. It will be up to 27 today by 3 o'clock. So it's actually just gone past 2 o'clock right now. So it's going to be about 27. So it's going to be a nice, warm day, but not super hot. Not super hot. Absolutely neat. So anyway, like I was saying, making videos in the cities is nice. And I also think sometimes, like the last video I made, you guys didn't watch it, so I didn't know, I don't know what to say, because I think that video was actually very, very good. I covered the city, like, going to interstate station and all of that stuff. That was really a neat one. That was a very good video. But I encourage you guys to go watch it, and if you do, don't forget to give it a like, including this one here. If you do watch it, don't forget to give it a like. But today I will show you, see, some of these homes are actually really big homes over there. That house over there at the end of the street is really like a 4-bedroom house. 4-bedroom house, yes, most of them are 4-bedroom house. You won't find a lot of 5-bedroom homes on here. So the maximum is 4-bedroom. Mine is 4-bedroom as well. Me and my my wife and the 3 kids. So, but at the moment, we only got Oma at home. So Jennifer comes and go, which is my daughter. And Ibram also comes and goes. So this sort of like still have like a space to come and go. So we're not at a point where we can downsize at the moment. So we just try and, make sure that everyone's got a nice place to call home and feel safe. But yeah, generally Australia is very safe. Melbourne is very safe. I've been to Sydney, and Sydney is very safe. I really didn't feel uncomfortable for whatsoever during the time I was over there doing my vlogs. So it was very easygoing. People were actually, in my opinion, they were much more friendlier, to be honest. You can tell when somebody is really friendly in their faces. You can certainly pick that up. But not to say that people aren't friendly in Melbourne, because I've been here 15 years. How many negative experiences did I have? Not a lot. The ones that I tend to have, they're usually people that you deal with on an everyday basis, and usually those are people that, you either work with or something like that. But generally speaking, no, I don't have a lot of negative experience living here. You know, if it's like, talking about people maybe online, even that, I don't have a lot of negative experience. I've gone to the match to see what people are all about and what the match is all about. But even that, I didn't get people harassing or saying to me. That being said, that's life. You win some, you lose some. For me, this is my home. Would I ever go back to Gambia or New Zealand to live? I will never say never, but as far as Gambia is concerned, culturally, I relate to a certain extent, maybe 50%, but the other 50% I don't relate anymore because it's just kind of like, a different way of thinking. And sometimes when you talk about, for those places, people need change. But what does change look like? Change, sometimes it means you actually literally have to leave, and for some people, because change that needs to be done for changes to happen over there, the people aren't willing to make those changes. They won't do it. It doesn't matter how much especially if someone like me that lives here. So if I were to go back there and start implementing some of the things that I've learned, it's just not gonna work because people see you as, oh well, you think he knows everything. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that the way you think has shifted, and because it has shifted, it makes it very difficult for you to relate to other people that doesn't think the way you do. My way of thinking is probably more of somebody that lives here in Melbourne or that lives in Australia, because those value systems are very, very important. Anyway, that's the station there, and that's the train going past. So that's the Cardinia station. So what we have here, I'll let you guys absorb that first before I start moving on. So that's basically the main station to go into the city. And over here, we've just got like our main shopping, Woolworths and all of that stuff. So it's got like a little shopping mall. I'll just go through it quickly, and then after we come back, I'll take you guys that way. So I'll show you what that looks like, then after we go that way. So this is where it already is at, little shopping. We got like a local Woolworths and few other things here. So that's what's out here. It's just a little shopping mall. So we do most of our groceries and our takeaways from locally, because you want to really buy from local businesses as much as you can. But over that way, over the bridge, we also got a lot of shops over there as well. So it's another shopping area there as well. Right there. So it's not that big, it's just a local shop, and that's it. It's not a lot over here, but it's kind of similar to the main Pakenham shopping, which is over there. So it's very, very similar to that, and it just walks out into a courtyard. So we got the gist of that. So that way you actually have all the schools are over there. So the schools are also very, very close onto the main road, but we want to go that way. Back on track, we'll head over this way. With the station just behind me, that's the station up here. So we want to go this way, and to kind of give you like a good feel of what Lakeside look like. I know we've been to the other side of Lakeside, but not this part. And funny enough, I was thinking of maybe I wanted to go and cover the Mumba parade. And I think Mumbai is not very popular as far as for content, because most of the content that I have looked at, the people that done some Mumba coverage, their videos aren't really they're not popular at all. People didn't even want to watch them. For us, I think I really want to explore and as much as I can, but yeah, that just gotta come with being able to finance that. Cardinia station, yeah. And that's the other side of the car park. So all these car parks are free parking. So for us, it's really neat to have a free parking. So when you come back from the city, there's the bus stops there, but also there's a bus stop on the other side. So the bus probably is just gonna go past. So public transport is very, very reliable in this area as well. A lot of schools as well. There you go. That's the bus going past. And yeah, and if you're into in your walking as well, there's a lot of a lot of area where you can walk. But this basically, if we keep on going this direction, it will lead us to the Lakeside, and that is on our first Pakenham video that we did. But I think since we did that, I just wanted to show you what what this part of it looked like, and then we just head over on this side of into Officer. So that way leads into Officer. So it's very quiet at the moment because the sun's out. But I also think if you're gonna make videos, this is the best time to do it. The sun's out, but also it's a beautiful day, and I get to do my exercise as well because I'm trying to get my steps in, and hopefully we can get some 10,000 steps by the time we're done with this vlog. And one of my biggest mistakes that I did, well, my wife and I, in a way it's a mistake, in a way it's not a mistake. It was just more of the time wasn't the right time. So like the house that we're living in, if we had bought it in 2012, a year after we moved here, which we had the deposit to do, we would have been able to be mortgage free by now. Right now we would have been mortgage free. But the only reason why we didn't buy is because we've got 3 kids and we've moved over here. We've sold our house. Well, we didn't sell our house, we rented it out in New Zealand. So we thought, well, we should try and wait and see, because we don't know what the circumstances are. We don't have stable jobs. I was still working with the agency, and so was my wife. And having a not so stable work situation, it really kind of like, okay, you're thinking about, before you make this big commitment, is it really worth doing it now, or wait till you're in a better financial situation to do it? So we just left it alone until things were a little bit more stable. And then we decided, yeah, no, we'll just buy. We didn't get into the market till in 2021. Yeah, 2021, that's when we got into the market. So we're kind of a little bit of a late comers. But that being said, you just know when the time is right. If the time is right, you get in. And for us, that was the right time, because if you're gonna make big financial decisions like buying a home or being a homeowner, you really need to think about it, you know. Otherwise, you buy it and then you end up, you know, the bank's taking the whole thing off you, including whatever you might have made from the property. That's Pakenham, and behind this bridge is Officer. So I'll give you guys a look what it looks like up there. Very neat. So yeah, the station is up there, the Cardinia station. So, and this is also a very, very busy stretch here. So you can pretty much see a little bit further out, with a lot of land still being developed. Since we've got the gist of what that looks like from this end here, so we're just gonna go under the bridge and then walk over that side. And they also got like a local basketball court here and skate park. So the Cardinia Council definitely done a good job here. Anyway, so we go this way. This is the right side of the fence that I want to be in. You know, not the other side, because that side you can only go so far and there's no access. And that's the basketball court I was talking about, / skate park. And predominantly it's a very multicultural area as well. The people that live here, you know, people from all walks of life. You got Indians, you got Africans, you got Australian, of course, which is I don't see many indigenous people that live around here. I haven't really met somebody that's, you know, like a native indigenous. So it's very predominantly people that are like second generation migrants, first generation migrants. But anyway, that's what that look like. So they got like a basketball / netball. So it's nice and cool under the bridge of the highway that we were just on before. And so you can see, if we were to go along there, there's really, it doesn't allow for further, you know, going that way. But the train's going past now. That's the V line. That was the V line going there. So we'll try and walk along here. But there in Australia, you look after this part of it, but it's actually owned by the council. So it's known as a nature strip. So every property would have a section that they make an effort every time they cut their lawn and look after that section as well. That's just the same feel. And we did look at a property which is just over here before we bought the one that we did. But I thought at the time we were viewing it, I thought it was too close to the railways over here. And because I do night shift, which I'm trying to get off, by the way, I've done night shift now. This year will be 13 years of night shift. So it has come to a point where my body is telling me, you either get off or I'll take you away from yourself. So if I don't get off night shift, I'm not gonna last very long, unfortunately. You know, my health is really declining. So I got to a point, I'm asking my work to help me mitigate that and maybe go to more like an afternoon shift instead of night shift. So night shift, the lack of sleep, raising my blood pressure, and also causing a lot of issues with my heart. But anyway, we've got like a little local park, you know, sort of like facilities, water. And most of these areas, sometimes you also got like places that got like a barbecue area where you can have a barbecue. I remember my neighbor, when I lived in Roval, said to me, 7 years maximum and you need to get off. And I think I've just gone double that, and there is a price, unfortunately, and that's one of the reasons why I can't do without glasses most of the time. We looked at this house here, you know, when we were looking for a house to buy, so we came and had a look at this house. But I wasn't comfortable with the fact that the train station is just right there. So, but it's a 3-bedroom house, that one. It wasn't a 4-bedroom. That one was a 3-bedroom. And at the time, that house was going for 615, I believe, 620. And that's 4 years ago. You probably would need close to about 900K for that house, or at least 850. You know, you're lucky if you get it for 800. But I do like these bigger Metrocon homes, very big, and they're usually 4-bedroom homes. Mine is a single story, but it is a 4-bedroom home. So once again, you can see very nice, well taken care of properties around here. Yeah, train going past. So it's very quiet, very peaceful, you know, and that's one of the lifestyles that I like about being here. You know, life is very chill. You know, you don't have people constantly be on you and your case and whatever you're up to. So you have your level of, you know, just living your life without people constantly being in your face. You know, and so this is basically the route that both Lynn and I, you know, do our walks, you know, to get our steps in. You know, I like being at homes most of the time if I'm not doing anything. Train. The train is going past again, so they kind of like, we're on the train line here, and that's why I didn't want that house, because I thought it would be just too noisy. But that house, for us, the way we live, the house we ended up buying, that one, the good thing about it is because there's houses in front of us, so they absorb some of the noise. So that's why we prefer that one over that house that we just looked at. And that one was a 3-bedroom as well, not a 4-bedroom. And 4-bedroom is better because with the 3 kids, you know, each had their own space until the 2 grown-ups now gone out and start doing their own thing. But anyway, another very proud house owner. You know, it looked very neat. So he's installing security. I think sometimes it's a little bit overrated, in my opinion. I mean, I've got all my neighbors got security in all their houses. I understand that you need security, but I think people are more paranoia because of what they see on the news all the time. And everyone think, oh, I need CCTV, I need CCTV. You don't need CCTV, come on. Most of the time, people get CCTV and their house get broken into. It's like you can barely even see who that person was. Footage is always granulated. It's like How come when there's an incident like that, it's never clear enough for you to tell who the person is? But I know the modern ones that we have, to be quite honest, I have to give it to them. It's really clear. So I've just been a smart ass here. I just don't feel the need for it. You know, I don't feel threatened. I don't feel intimidated. You know, I don't feel that I need to get Big Brother to watch my house. Big Brother doesn't need to watch my house. I'm quite comfortable with the people that I live among. But you can see, this is really a nice neighborhood, very clean. If you were to think about buying a house here, you should say, oh, I don't want to buy a house here. What you mean you don't want to buy a house here? The houses are absolutely mint condition homes, beautiful. So don't make the same mistake as me and choosing not to get into the market over here when I should have, because I was having the same mindset. Oh, Pakenham is too far away. I would have been mortgage free if I made those moves when I should have. Oh, by the way, that's not just trash. That's somebody doing their garden. That there is not like trash. What you saw there, as in, you know, people just throwing stuff around. So it's lying on the nature street. So that will be collected by the council. So they would have booked in for that to be collected. But generally, absolutely clean. How you going? That's it. So there's not even like paper on the street. If you're on the other side of Melbourne or somewhere in the city or whatever, you thought, oh, well, I don't want to move here because it's terrible or this and that. You can see for yourself. This place is absolutely beautiful. So what we have on this part of the Pakenham, we have a lot of these two bedroom apartments. They're very, very popular as well. So there's quite a few of them in this area that are on this side of the road that we're walking on. So there's quite a few of them in here. And one of my friends used to live in one of them. So I decided I want to move to North Melbourne because that's where his work was. So he's moved over there. He's a truck driver. So he's moved to North Melbourne. I haven't seen him for a while. Hello, Super. Oh, by the way, he's from India as well. So I do have some mates that are from other foreign countries. I try and be as neutral as possible and take every person based on their own character. And that's how I tend to roll. And I do have a lot of people from India that view my channel, and including Singapore. And I find out that most of my viewers are no longer Australians, they're Malaysian. So shout out to you all the Malaysians out there. And United States, thank you. You know, you guys are doing very well as well. But I do have a lot of Australian viewers as well. So they're actually second on the list. So most of the people that view my channel are Australians. You know, I know doing content, people always say it's about relatability. So I'm glad I could relate to some Australians, or they could relate to me. Whether it's the lingo or it's the sarcasm. So I don't know which one is it. But anyway, I'm happy to have you around. And if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Os, and welcome aboard. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Anyway, so some more clean neighborhood. So we have a lot of green space around here. As you can see, we've got a lot of ponds, a lot of trees, and the council's done a good job of capturing all the water, the rainwater, which is turned into ponds around the Pakenham area. So there's a lot of ponds here, but also a lot of green space. So as you can see right now, nice shade, you know, absolutely neat. So we're coming back onto the main road. And does this water smell? Not really. It doesn't at all. I just wish they put some fish in there to help clean the water. There's a lot of algae in it. So a bit of fish in there will definitely help clean the water. So what's coming up there is a childcare. That's what they're building up there. So my friend Super actually used to live over there on those flats. The water is reasonably clear, and it's a nice pond here. So this is all rainwater, so it goes all the way to the local club over there. So that's the officer club, the local watering hole. So if you go there maybe in the next hour, probably even now, it'll be pretty full with people there. So you can go over there and get a beer, you know, get a drink or whatever. That traffic there was a little bit hectic. So we're trying to cross the road, but it takes quite a while. And it's stinky hot, absolutely hot. So I don't quite know how much it will cost to rent these in one of these flats here. I don't really quite know, but I will assume you're looking at maybe $450 a week for these places, or even, you know, $500. So rent is very expensive, to be honest, out here. Very expensive. But I'll kind of look it up to see what's the average rental property in this area if you were to rent around here in Pakenham. So I'll check that. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen. We've been running around for an hour, but we'll try and cross over. Thank you. We'll try and cross over that way. Hang on. But what you have coming here is the local school, but also where most of the election, during election time, that's where we go and do our voting. So this is where the local school is. So I try and not film the kids or, you know, the parents. But this is basically just during school pickup. So most of the people are here picking up their kids. And it's a school zone. But we're trying not to film into the direction of the kids. But yet people just picking up their kids. So it's one of the most popular schools here. It's actually very new. When we actually moved here, Omar, my youngest son, we couldn't get him in because he was 1 year ahead of the school. So they were building annually and adding like a year 7, year 8, and then year 9. But they didn't have 8 and 9 at the time. But now it's fully complete. So they've got both high school and primary school in here. But anyway, we'll shut the camera. I don't want to make parents nervous with me and my camera. So, but that's just that. People picking up their kids. So we'll shut that down. So we're just going past the school. That's Edinburgh College, but also there's a primary school there. It's very close to the station, and they got like a, you know, soccer park next to it as well. But there's also an indoor soccer park over there on the other side. So I've taken a mate's kids over there to have a bit of a kick around, and they were surprised that I still could kick a ball. We haven't forgotten how to play, but we still can. And there's a small little mini white house here. Very nice home. Well taken care of. Absolutely beautiful. But I hope you guys like the video, and if you do, let me know. I will do some more of these, or, you know, tell me what you want to see next. And if you enjoyed the Melbourne series, I'm quite happy to do some more of it. But otherwise, I'll wait till I save up some money, you know, go overseas somewhere and make videos over there, because we can't do that. We've done it before. I mean, we've been to Malaysia, and certainly I was hoping that we could go somewhere else within the year. So last year we did go places. We went to Brisbane, we went to Sydney, and we also went in Singapore. You know, we had a quick stopover in Singapore. So these things take a bit of time and effort, and money as well. So that's the only reason why I'm not out and about. So I'm at the mercy of my employer. So that's just that. So don't think because I'm running around making videos I don't have a day job. I do. I work 9 to 5, and sometimes I do work 6 days a week. You know, it's just given the time and the schedule, we try and fit these videos in. But at this point in time, since I did my last Melbourne video, that didn't do great. So I was a little bit kind of like, well, if people aren't interested in videos in Melbourne, I don't know what to offer you. But I thought it would be quite nice to show you around my neighborhood. So if you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. And if this is your first time on my channel, don't forget to subscribe. So before we shut down the video, is Melbourne safe? Yes. Do I feel safe in Australia? Yes, I do feel safe in Australia. Do I feel very unwelcome in Australia? No, I don't feel that, because people don't do nothing to me that should make me feel that way. The people that jump up and down online and post their stuff and doing all of that stuff, that doesn't worry me, because you only have to live in countries like England or Germany or any European countries to realize what unsafe look like, but also what dangerous look like. And being African, obviously, so you know what danger looks like. This, to me, is like living in a super probably posh neighborhood in an African country. So I don't know what people are on about of it being unsafe. And most of the time it's just kids running amok. It's nothing like, big grown-ups going around and, trashing people and their property. It's none of that stuff. And usually you find all the things that happen around Melbourne is kids that actually have beef with other kids. And that's to be expected. Where there is testosterone, people are going to clash. And, you can't expect somebody that their frontal cortex that hasn't developed yet to have a reasoning skills, or to think about the risk of the things that they're doing. So they're still young. We're all young at one point. I'm sure maybe some of you didn't get into mischief, but I'm keeping mine on the rep. I wouldn't say that I was I wouldn't say I was an angel. I didn't go looking for it, but yeah, we were the sort that, we don't look for it, but when it comes, we're certainly happy to, roll our sleeves in and, and dig in. But anyway, that's all in the past. We're all grown up now and got kids that are actually young adults. We don't get ourselves into trouble. We don't do that. But anyway, thank you for watching. So yes, Australia is very safe. Melbourne is very safe, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And I certainly like to thank you for watching. And until next time, I will see you on the next one. Bye.